I can start.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Khalil Doheny. I'm Director of Content Marketing at Digital Niche Agency. Today we have Ray Hall from New Platform Tech. Ray, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
Awesome. Awesome. And while people are trickling in, do you want to kind of just give a quick background of yourself and really just lay out the land of what we can expect from the webinar today?
Um, Myself, I've been in the industry for quite some time. Got in the industry in Hollywood in the late 80s. Uh, got involved in a small company that was selling oil and gas, and um, they were doing fraction wells out in Oklahoma. And I was a opener. I was opening investors, and they liked me so much they sent me to the LA Stock Exchange to get my Series 7 uh, license, which I did do. And then I went back and started working for them and actually doing investments with investors. And I did that for quite some time. And then I moved from there and took my license and I went and started working for different entertainment companies where they were raising capital for different projects. Um, one of which was Napoleon Dynamite. I was involved in that project that raised quite a bit of money, not that much, but raised a little bit of money. And you know how that project went. I think it did somewhere in the line of about 60 million or so off of a very small budget. And then I worked for several different groups that were stayed in the industry, entertainment industry. And I then took a job with Frank Capra Jr., whose father, was a famous director who did Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Philadelphia Story, so on and so forth. And Frank taught me a great deal about the movie industry when it came to producing film. And then I worked for him for 5 years. And then I worked for another very talented professional in Hollywood by the name of Noel Marshall, who is now retired from CAA as an agent. He had married Tippi Hedren, and he's the guy that discovered the Exorcist writer who was writing the Exorcist in its second chapter at the time. I believe he was writing him when he discovered him, and then he got him to complete it. He put it on the bestsellers list in New York City, and everything from there brought it to Hollywood, and then of course got it made to a film. So I worked for him for quite some time, and he taught me everything about script writing, character building, and that's how I got to the point where I started developing projects and scripts, and eventually wound up working for another group, and I was making quite a bit of money. I started developing a project. I got involved with a project out of New York called The Circuit, which was one of the first series ever broadcast on the internet, which is a hip hop series. And me and my team in LA was shooting 10-minute segment called Latin Music Zone, which was all Latin, all about Latin entertainment in Hollywood. And we hired three hosts, and we were producing music with these hosts. And that's how that whole music thing got started. And that's got me interested in developing artists. And here we are today. And so the uh, meeting today, this Zoom meeting today, this webinar is about to talk about who we are, what we developed in the form of our voting engine, and how we believe that not only we're going to create a new way for singers and songwriters to be discovered, but also put them in a position where they can win multi-year recording contracts, major cash prizes, and of course, generate the kind of revenue that we believe we could generate from the platform and the series, but more from the platform to get us in a position where, for investors, you're investing in things that you want to make money from investments as soon as possible. You don't want to wait 5, 6, 7 years. We believe that our voting engine could put us in a position in record time where investors would walk away with earning just from the platform alone 25% of the profit sharing. And then from there, they would have an opportunity to um, hopefully, if this thing does what we think it's going to do in the form of traction growth, uh, we believe that we'll be in a position where we'll start talking about looking at something that could be pretty lucrative when it comes to an exit. So that's where we're at today. And let me just go through it. And as I mentioned, again, my name is Ray Hall, the founder and CEO of New Platform Tech. My job, I'm here to introduce you guys to our newly developed TBAM voting engine app and how it could change the way singers and songwriters can be discovered, as I mentioned, where they can walk away with a $2 million payday and a multi-year recording contract. Now, additionally, with our platform, we are adding what you call the NFT auction marketplace, which is a actual auction that takes place on our platform in two different sections, one for the singers and one for the songwriters during the interface. We believe that these auctions could create real value growth for the non-fungible tokens or NFTs for years to come. And how that works is this. NFTs, as you know, auctions, you get NFTs, you do an auction, you buy an NFT through the auction. The whole goal is, how do you build value behind this NFT? Well, with the discovery of our singer and songwriter who won the TNFS series, that record that we're releasing, that hit song, and our goal based off of the platform and our invested voters, we're hoping that it could do a platinum release where what we're talking about is 1 million copies sold. That ensures the artist fame. So that also ensures a NFT collectible value growth, if you understand my point. Our TBAM stands for the TNFS Voting Engine Blockchain Algorithm Multiplier Platform. What does multiplier or algorithm multiplier have to do with our app? Well, each singer and songwriter, in order for them to enter the competition, the first thing they must do after they register, do their audition, upload a song or audition, they have to get 100 votes just to get into the 180-day voting tournament. Now, we've discussed this model with many singers on many platforms. And of course, they all stated that they could reach that requirement of 100 votes. So what we've done here, we built in some incentive, cash drivers, that's going to get singers and songwriters on the platform, get them to go out and get their voters so they can earn cash through the voting system. And it also gives voters in our platform, because we're going to place a $3 million cash prize package on the platform, give voters a chance to win cash by voting 100 times. They got to vote 100 times in order for them to have a chance to spin our TNFS cash prize voting wheel to get a chance to win. Now, those odds are built into the actual app as we speak. The app or the build, it's already built. So what you're looking at investing in here in our company, you're actually looking at investing in several things at one time. So the first thing you're investing in is our TBAM voting engine. The second thing you're investing in is the NFT auction marketplace that's built on the TBAM voting engine. And the third thing that you're voting in is our TNFS series, the Next Female Superstar All-Female Singing Competition series. That's 25 episodes. We've had a major network in this office. We did a presentation, we talked to them, and they love the product. They want to see it on the market with people on it, so on and so forth. Now, investors would earn 25% profit sharing, from the revenue generated from the platform. And we believe that based on how our algorithm works, we're going to reach unicorn status in record time. Now, when you look at unicorn status, now we're talking about a $1 billion valuation. And now that sets the stage on what are we going to do, or what are we looking at as far as a exit? And what we want to do, we're looking at a Spotify exit. That's what our interest is. And when you look at the comparisons in the three related industries, I can say to you that with some degree of confidence that we are pretty certain that after the launch, we could reach these type of valuations where we could be looking at a projected $2.4 billion in our first 12 to 15 months as far as evaluation goes when it comes to our TBAM voting engine and our NFT auction marketplace that's happening on that engine. Now, the way we make money on this platform is in several ways, but the two ways we're going to focus on is our monthly subscription fee, which is a $2.99 subscription fee that every user has to pay, including the singers and songwriters. Now, as for me, we believe that they're going to pay this fee. Why would they pay a $2.99 registration fee? Well, we're giving away quite a bit of revenue on this platform. That's going to build their confidence. That's going to build credibility for us, which is going to allow them to, of course, want to pay that subscription fee to continue earning those cash dollars. Singers earn money over 26 weeks in a couple ways. They earn money from high vote counts, which is a $500 vote count. And voters earn money by voting 100 times to get a chance to get a spin on the TNFS voting wheel. Now, also, when it comes to voters, there's 26 weeks of voting. Every week, if one of you guys, for the sake of discussions or ladies, was on the platform and you went to vote for one of your friends or family members and you happen to click on that vote, each week for 26 weeks, one voter will have an instant $10,000 What a Vote Pick win. We're going to do that each week on the Interface voting page for the singers and the Interface voting page for the songwriters. Now, songwriters earn money from the $500 high vote count that they would have based off of the votes that they get. And they also get a chance to win $9,000 in reference to if they reached 100,000 votes. That's 9 cents a vote. And of course, when you look at the other platforms out there, whether it's Spotify or anybody else, that 9 cents per vote or stream, if you want to put it that way, is the highest paid in the bracket today. There's no platform out there paying that kind of money, not even Spotify, which pays 4/10 of 1 cent to their streamers. And as you know, you probably read about it, they're having a lot of problems with that. Now, my dear friend, Charlie Midnight and Amy Rowland, who's involved in this project, Charlie's involved in the project because of the fact that he's coming on as a judge and he's coming on as a participant to help us when it comes to our publishing deal and our record label. And Amy's coming on to, of course, produce our television series, The Next Female Superstar, and her credits speak for itself. She's worked with every network in the business. She's done quite a few different live shows. I'll mention two: Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and the cooking show, Hell's Kitchen. So Amy's very talented. So we believe we put together something that makes a lot of sense. Out of the 200 platforms out there today, I can assure you of this. There's 200 platforms in the market today that are digital music technology platforms. I can assure you this, that there's not one platform today that does what we do. And that's the number one thing, finding that golden fleece, helping singers and songwriters to earn a recording contract. Now, granted, there's several platforms out there that allow singers and songwriters to go onto those platforms, which I'll show in my deck in a few seconds, that where there's some that have actually went viral, where they had 1 million streams. And because of that fact, they were picked up by a record label. But the bottom line is those type of opportunities are far and few. There's not one platform out of the 200 music technology platforms in the market today that does what we do. Not one. We've talked to a lot of different singers and songwriters. And just to bring this part to a close, and then I'll show you my deck and explain a little further. We've talked to BMI, SESAC, and ASCAP. We explain our program. We explain how songwriters get to upload 2 songs. And we explain that how they earn a certain amount of money every week based off of high votes. And if they advance to tier 2, which is the 55 biggest songs, 233 songs, if they make it from that part to the series and win the series by having someone sing that song, they walk away with a $2 million cash prize. We explained that to BMI, SESAC, and ASCAP. It has 2,333,000 members. They stated that we would pick up a large group of their published songwriters. Now, you have to think about that. When they said we would pick up a large group, they have 2,333,000 published songwriters. And if I was able to, which I don't have in front of me, but if you can imagine us picking up even 100 of those, or just say for the sake of discussion, 10,000 of those guys, our algorithm would take it to the next level, where the voters would come in and you multiply that times 100. That's the type of users we would have off of 10,000 users. But when we talked to the singers and explained this process, they all responded the same way. And we talked to a group from a platform on YouTube that was created by a Russian kid that's doing very well today. That was bought by, I think it was United, one of the music platforms, one of the big music publishing groups bought the company. But the bottom line was that when we talked to them, they all stated that based on what we're offering, that cash prize at the end of the journey, if they win the series, and that multi-year recording contract, they would definitely sign up for the program. So we've been doing this for roughly since 2014. And we're pretty enthusiastic about where we're going. So at this point in time, what I'd like to do is share my screen and show you my deck. And hopefully, can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, let me get this into slide mode. Okay, so this is our cover, and that's our logo, TBAM logo, the next female superstar. Our slogan, brand yourself to stardom, brand yourself to stardom. So here's the bottom line with this market. These are all the major platforms on the market today. When you add those numbers up, you're looking at roughly somewhere around 6.5 billion users on these platforms. The problem with singers today on these platforms, they're using several of these platforms, somewhere between 6 and 7 of these platforms, so that they can earn income and build their brand in hopes that their music will go viral. That would get the interest of a record label that would say, hey, we're going to take a risk on your newfound fame and award them a music contract. The problem with that scenario is that it's far and few that are artists who are being awarded these type of contracts. So our solution is to open up voting to 6.5 smartphone users on these platforms. Okay, we believe this is going to make a big difference for us when it comes to building our traction, finding top singers in the world. Because you have to understand, when I say open up voting to 6.5 billion smartphone users in the world, we're actually talking about 46 world countries. Now, our TBAM voting engine, here's a few screens. We actually have 135 screens that's on this platform. But here's three of the more important ones. The landing page is in the middle with our logo, the next female superstar. But on the left, you see the undiscovered female singers voting page. It has a digital clock. It tells you the countdown to reach the best voted 480 audition category. The best voted 480 singers advance to the showdown in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's at the end of the 180-day tournament. And then you have the same thing for the songwriter. And basically, if I click the purple, it would open up and show the actual voting wheel and how it functions. And it also shows the new songs that's on the app. And then it shows at the end of the 180 days on the songwriter's app interface voting screen, you're looking at the top voted 233 songs that would advance to the TNFS Live Showdown in Las Vegas. The songwriters don't show up, but the actual songs are pushed through to the professionals here that would, and I'll get to that in a second. Same thing goes for the singers in the sense that at the end of the 180-day tournament, you're going to have roughly 480 top singers that's going to actually fly into Las Vegas to begin the process to move forward to the next phase, which is our TNFS Live Showdown. So 480 singers from the digital platform and 233 songs are now sitting in front of judges who are going to dwindle down the 480 singers down to the top 10 finalists and dwindle down the 233 songs down to the top 55 songs. That's going to advance to the next female superstars 25 episode all-female singing competition series. Now, let's talk about numbers. And I'm going to use this to give you an idea. So think about us in the sense of using a digital ad agency like DNA. We spend $1,176.46. In 1 week's time, that generates 165 singers and songwriters. When we divide that number into our ad spend, it means that we're spending, or it's costing us $7.14 to create each of those 165 singers and songwriters. Over a month's time, you're looking at 660 of those singers and songwriters. When you add our multiplier algorithm to it, now what you're looking at over 6 months' time, or 180 days, you're looking at 399,960 combined users. You're looking at 3,960 singers and songwriters, 3,960 projected voters. I'm sorry, 396,000 projected voters, 1,980 auditions, 3,960 unsold songs that were uploaded, and 3,960 NFT auctions that took place each week for 26 weeks on both interfaces over 180 days. When you multiply the $399,960 times the $2.99 subscription fee, our projected revenue, and this is all lowballing, of course, is $4,185,581.40. Now, it says expectations versus reality. Our expectations based off of our ingest model is much higher than this. It's more in the range of a minimum of 20 to 40 million users in that time span versus based off of the top platforms and the 46 markets that singers and songwriters can register from. We believe our cash prizes are going to drive these singers, songwriters, and the voters to the platform. Now, my team consists of myself. And that's, of course, I've been in the business for over 30 years. I've worked on several projects, movie production projects, developed TV projects, worked on TV projects. I fostered female singers from LA, the UK, and Los Angeles. And I was a part of the team that developed the streaming voting technology. Amy Rowland, of course, is my executive in charge of television. Amy's been in the business for over 20 years. She's fantastic when it comes to television production, whether it's live or recorded. And she's worked for every major network. She had a network in our office. I won't say the name of that network, but it was one of the top 4. She had a network in our office. We did a demonstration in our kiosk that sits in there. It's 10 feet tall. We showed them the platform, our web portal. We showed the audition go from the kiosk to the portal, which took about a minute and a half to get there. And they loved it. Their whole point was that this is fantastic. The reason why they're interested is because if this excuse me, if this voting engine does what we say it can do, for the sake of discussion, all platforms, it doesn't matter which one it is, because America has larger eyeballs in the world than any other country, all platforms, the larger group of registered members are always from the US. So the way that the network looks at it is this. If we were able, for the sake of discussion, to generate, for the sake of discussion, 40 million users on our platform in record time, and I'll use that number, that means that 60% of those users are from the US. So if they take our show and put our show on their network, which has another major competition show on that network, then that means that 65% of those 40 million users on our platform that are invested in this show, invested in this technology, are going to follow the show to the network. That's what they got their eyeballs on. Because if you look at the conventional shows that are in the market today, American Idol, The Voice, The Masked Singer, which are doing very well. If you go back to the heydays when American Idol first started, which was 2001, I believe it was, they were doing huge numbers. They were doing 10, 15, 20 million users. I'm sorry, 10, 15, 20 million viewers watching that series in their fourth year, which had a major market share. They were just killing everything in its path. And so the networks now today, when you look at American Idol, or even The Voice for that matter, or even The Masked Singer, they're doing somewhere between 4 maybe and 6 million members or viewers watching those series. So the network believes that this series, because of how it works, where we're bringing users from, they're all invested in the project. They're all invested in finding the next female superstar. They believe that those users are going to follow the series to where it's going, whether it's going to which network it could be on. So what that does for them is increase their market share and their ratings substantially, because you're not talking about viewership that's somewhere between 2 and 4 million, 2 and 5. You're talking about viewership that's going to be quite substantially higher, and that's what they're interested in. There's a major casino here in Vegas that's also interested in this project, and the reason why they're interested is because it's a bit filler. In other words, we're going to have users all over the world on this platform. This one particular casino has casinos all over the world, and they believe they would come on. They see this thing doing what we say it can do, our voting engine. They would come on as a major participant and investor in this project so that they could use the users on this platform to offer them, of course, rooms, etc., in their hotels throughout the world. Charlie Midnight. Charlie been a friend of mine for a long time, for the past 25 years. Charlie actually helped me with got me an opportunity to talk to James Brown when he was performing in LA. I got a chance to go to his trailer and have a conversation with him about doing a project that I was working on, which was a movie project that I optioned. I wanted him to come on and do the title song. I had Snoop and I had some other folks, Ryan O'Neal, who played and was the Shaft character, played Shaft in the Shaft movie. I'm sorry, not Shaft, the other one, the Pimp movie, the real big one, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But I had several stars signed to this project, and Charlie got me an interview with James Brown. I went to see him, and I asked him if he would do the title song to the film. I was thinking about Dangerous Minds with the movie that Coolio, I believe it was, did the title track and just shot the people to the theater, and that's what I was thinking of. And I talked to James Brown, told him about the project. He loved it. And asked him if he would do the title track. He wanted to do it. And I said, now, Snoop is also starring in the film. He's the star of the film, one of the stars of the film. And I would like for you to do the title track with Snoop. And he was good up to that point. He wanted to do it, but he decided he wouldn't do it if he didn't get full credit for it, and Snoop wouldn't get any. So that ruled that out. So Charlie, again, is very instrumental in my life in reference to what we're doing. He's been on this project from day one. Charlie is one of the most prolific songwriters in the music industry. He's wrote 50 million. His songs have sold 50 million copies worldwide. He's worked with people like Barbra Streisand, James Brown. He helped to discover Idina Menzel, just to mention a few. If you go to his website, charliemidnight.com, you'll know 90% of those people he worked with. As I mentioned, Barbra Streisand was one of them. So Charlie's on this project. He's been on this project, been advising me for many years on this project, and we're happy to have him, and we're excited to have him. The company's roadmap, basically, this project is really wrapped around our trademark that we registered in 2012. We renewed it this year to 2031, the next female superstar. We incorporated our company in 2014 in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's the office we're in now. In 2015, we did a protection trademark against BET infringement. There was an infringement by BET. We protected our trademark. In 2018, we built our T-Band portal. In 2019, we started building both apps, which is an iOS and Android version. And then in 2019, We, of course, pitched the network in our office. And between 2020 and 2022, we completely built both app versions. In 23, we started working with a group called Startup Warriors. And of course, we started working with NetCapital. Now, when it comes to competition from these platforms, these are just a few of the platforms. There's several more. But as I mentioned, out of the 200 platforms out there today, none of them do what we do, not one. I'll mention one in particular that's not on this list. I won't say their name, but they raised since 2017 $170 million. They're doing quite a bit of money, revenue. They're earning quite a bit of revenue from 1.5 million artists. That's it, 1.5 million artists. And when you think about that, and the world is the numbers are much larger than that. But what they do, they allow artists to use iMessenger, where they could take their records or music, and they can take their music and attach their music to all of the platforms that you see here on this page. They also allow them to send music out to all the music publishing houses, NFL, see if they like their music, and companies like that. They basically take 10% of whatever the artists earn on that platform. The bottom line is that, and what I'm getting at is that most platforms help insert with services, but they don't help them get recording contracts, and that's what we do. But with this competitive analysis, you see quite a few of our competitors, including TikTok, and we do all the stuff that they do, but the things that they don't do is offer cash prize packages, a television series component. We offer a dance challenge contest on our platform because that's very popular on these apps. We offer our voting features. We have an algorithm multiplier that can increase our numbers, could double and quadruple our registration numbers, our traction numbers in a day, in a week, in a month. We have a profile page where artists and singers can go there. They can send out a message to people that are not on our platform. They could do that. They could change their profile pictures. They could send messages within the actual app to get people to listen to their music. We have an e-wallet to transfer cash prizes from the profile page. So when contestants win prizes, cash prizes, they actually can use the e-wallet to transfer cash from the profile to their actual bank account. We have the NFT auction marketplace that we're building on the interface page for the singers and on the interface page for the songwriters, which will be an auction link. It takes them right to the auction page. And then, of course, we have a sales and merchandise store where we can sell music as well as our merchandise. And we, of course, are building this massive community, which can do social sharing right on the platform. Now, our investment, the capital that we need to raise is $1,200,000. We built the platform. We need to do some enhancements with our NFT stuff. We want to do our coding upgrades for our libraries, our graphic upgrades, and our maintenance. That's about 28.33%. The 41.67% goes to beta testing, traction testing, usability tests, collecting data tests. 27% goes to our corporate expenses, and 3% goes to our App Store, Apple App Store, and Google Play Store optimization. Now, once that beta test is done, over 60 days, we're going to bring those results back. It'll show all our investors and the new investors we're going after, which is institutional investors, how lucrative this project could really be in a sense of revenue, in a sense of reaching unicorn status, in a sense. And on that note, you know, when you think about this project, I'll mention two companies. Facebook. It took Facebook a year to reach 983,000 users. And then, of course, as you know, today, Facebook has 2 billion users plus. And then you have Spotify, which is a streaming music platform, which is very interesting. We are doing everything without streaming. And if you notice right now today, majority of the platforms out there are moving towards that direction for streaming. Even though they make a lot of money, artists don't. The reason why I brought that up is because of the fact that we're very interested in the Spotify model, because of the fact that our exit that we really are interested in reaching, we're not interested in a buyout. I mean, if we manage to, for a minimum, get 40 million users on our platform, that would give us as a buyout if we use the Facebook model to buy out companies like Instagram and WhatsApp. They paid some cash, but they also paid $30 per user. So if we were sitting on 40 million users, that would give us a buyout value of $1.2 billion. We're not interested. We're interested in something a little bit more lucrative, and that's the Spotify model. The Spotify model, as you know, was a direct listings. That's what we're interested in. We believe we could do that within 12 to 15 months. The Spotify model is very interesting, which is a direct listings, which allows investors to do a bid, put a bid in for the price of what they want to sell their personal stock for, and then our market makers come in and they develop a price from that to open the stock up with. So instead of us trying to raise money for our company, we're not going to do that. We're going to be worldly known because of the app. We don't need to raise capital. We don't need to raise awareness for the company. But we do believe that this gives our investors an early exit. And that's what we're interested in 12 to 15 months after our full launch, which after the beta test is done, we bring it back, we do the tweaks, make the changes we need. Then we go to the marketplace, to the institutional buyers, and raise the capital we need to do a full launch. Now, here's the thing. This is why investors should be interested in investing, or this could be some reasons why you could be. I'm trying to move this over. Okay. Our platform combines a social media gifting solution, a streaming music cash incentive solution, and an NFT auction solution. Investors are getting not 2 investments, but actually 3 investments, one in the digital music space, one in the television singing competition space, and the NFT auction marketplace. Our voting engine will build its values on undiscovered female singers, songwriters, and 6.5 billion smartphone users. And that's it. Again, my name is Ray Hall. Our company is New Platform Tech Inc. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we'd love to field some questions if we could.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ray. That was awesome. And anyone who's has a question in the audience, right now is your opportunity to get your questions answered. Ray, I know you had some questions already lined up on your end. You want to just go through those real quick?
Yeah, give me a second. I was trying to get rid of this, but I don't know if I could. I have to actually read from these because they're intensive. These are the questions that you guys submitted to us. One was, could you provide an overview of New Platform technology and how it specifically supports undiscovered female singers? I did go over that in pitch, but the platform not only supports undiscovered female singers, but songwriters or from 46 markets over 26 weeks, which allows them with these cash prize earnings on a weekly basis, whether it's the $500 for high vote count, or if it's a $9,000 for 100,000 votes. One of the other questions was, what inspired the creation of this platform, and how does it differ from itself and existing avenues for inspiring artists? Again, I mentioned I started in this business as a musician. Well, I didn't mention it, but I started as a musician when I was a teenager, and that really started it. But when I moved to Hollywood and got involved in all that, and then one thing happened for me in Hollywood that I didn't mention. I actually got a deal and a contract for a company that was one of the early companies on the internet that created programs, 30-minute series. This series was a hip-hop series called The Circuit, produced out of Brooklyn, New York by a company called Brownstone Digital. And I was making quite a bit of money in the investment world at the time. and I got a deal with them to produce a 10-minute segment about all things Latin called Latin Music Zone. I hired a team of executives to shoot our series. I hired the music producers, which my dear friend Clint Sands, and of course, Miss Toy came on, who's successful in her own right, to actually do the music for our series and do some other songs for the artist, which started all that and got me all into this. But that's how it all came about. And then, as that time grew with my interest in singers and songwriters, I wanted to come up with a way to give them a chance to earn a recording contract, and that's how it all came about. In what ways does the platform empower female singers, especially those who might not have access to traditional revenue? Well, again, our voting engine offers them an opportunity to earn cash prizes and advance to the Tier 2 TNFS Live Showdown, and advance to the actual singing competition series, where they can walk away with major cash, which is a $2 million cash prize in a multi-year recording contract and a music placement contract for the songwriter, and a $2 million cash prize. And yes, the series doesn't have one winner, but two winners, because the undiscovered female singer is actually singing the songwriter's song. Could you elaborate on how this technology increases exposure for artists? Again, you're looking at us opening up voting to 6.5 billion smartphone users over a 180-day period. It allows you to build their brand, earn income, and move on to our series. How does the platform enable these singers to earn substantial income? Again, they're earning money over a 26-week period and getting a chance to win the money, win capital from the actual series. Can you see me? Did I lose you?
Nope, still see you.
Okay, I lost something here. How do I stop the sharing? Okay, did I stop the sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What long-term strategies are in place to ensure stability for these artists beyond initial exposure? The recording contract is a multi-year contract that could be anywhere from $5 million to $20 million. And when you look at that, in order for an artist to be eligible to become be nominated for Best New Artist Grammy Award, they have to have 5 singles released, and these singles have to reach what they call 5 times platinum, or in other words, 1 million sales per song. So when you put that kind of project together, and then you got to do the videos, get them awarded, get them nominated for these shows, that of course increases their future, and also put them involved in a residency in Vegas, which we're talking to people about, and also a tour. That's how we plan to ensure growth strategies for these artists. One question you guys had asked was, what technology features or tools does the platform offer to assist female singers enhancing their visibility? Well, we have the voting tools, we have the profile page where they can do several different things. That pretty much helps them there. Are there specific resources or support systems provided to aid these artists in navigating the music industry? Well, not really, no, because we don't offer that kind of service. This is a competition. We're looking for the best singer in the world, the best songwriter in the world, so that we can find the next female superstar and the music she's going to deliver to the world. So we're providing everything on this platform and in our series to actually accomplish that for a singer. But we didn't build a platform so singers can get this service or that service. There's other platforms out there that can do that, like I said before, but there's none that can do what we do. That's doing what we do. Can you assure any success? Can you offer any success stories or anecdotes about singers that you work with? I work with a lot of singers, but as far as the platform goes, it's new. And that's where we're at today. We're looking to raise capital to upgrade it and put it in the market to test it, bring it back, get institution investors to buy into it so we can put it in the market and do the song and dance that we're really capable of doing. How do you measure the impact of this technology on the career and lives of artists? Well, again, artists are using roughly 6 to 7 platforms out to today. There's only one platform that artists have actually excelled where their music went viral and it was recognized by music executives who were awarded contracts, and that's TikTok. But those awards or those contracts are far and few. So again, we believe that we have the answer when it comes to our platform and the solution when it comes to them actually moving on to the series and winning that competition and that recording contract, the music placement contract. Does the platform facilitate collaborations between aspiring singers and established industry professionals? Only the judges on our platform and the people that will be working with the winner after the show ends. How are we on time?
We're doing good on time. I think we got one question that just came in.
Yeah.
Let's see. NPTI really sounds like a ground floor opportunity for investors. Getting in now at these prices presents a potential huge financial ROI. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, that's a really interesting question. And my slide said expectation versus reality. We've been studying this market. There's a lot I haven't told you guys, but we've been studying this market since I got the trademark in 2012, but we've been studying this market since 2014. We've worked with not just Charlie Midnight and Amy Rowland, but we worked with some of the best professionals in the business to develop this technology. We also did an ingest model, which gave us an idea with our kiosk, the type of numbers that we could generate from our kiosks alone, which were, and I'll tell you the number, was 155 million. That's a big number. And I like to lowball our numbers down to 40 or 60, but to answer your question, when you say lucrative, I would tell you that your returns, first of all, investors are sharing 25% of the profit sharing on the platform from NFT sales and subscription revenue. If this thing does what we think it will do, if we reach 40 million users, we're somewhere around $150 million in revenue just from the platform alone before anything else. And when we reach that plateau, the next very step, we're not interested in a buyout. Because the thing you have to keep in mind, number one, the actual NFTs that someone would win through an auction and a singer wins the series, we dump $10 million, $20 million in that recording contract, in the promotions, and all the stuff that we need to do. And she's going to be forever branded as the next female superstar. Imagine that value of that NFT, think if it was Billie Eilish who we discovered. And imagine if you own that NFT, what that value would be. So think about it from that terms and think about this, that this is a seasonal project. So each year the platform's always going to be open and we're going to be putting out cash to keep voters on the platform. But each season, we're going to start to search for a brand new superstar, which means that when you start looking at our PE ratio, price per share ratio, if we continue to put out brand new artists, our values are going to increase. Now, as I mentioned, our exit that we want to do, outside of you earning 25% from the profit sharing, outside of you earning 25% for profit share from the revenue. My goal, if we reach the numbers I think we're going to reach, which I'm pretty certain I feel confident about, my goal is to do a direct listings in 15 months after we launch. No one's done that, not even Spotify. A direct listings allow you as an investor to sell your stock in that IPO. The company isn't raising money because we're well known at that point in time. We have revenue. We're doing a direct listing so our investors could take advantage of selling their stock. If you remember, Spotify, their stock went nuts. It went straight through the roof. I mean, we believe that if we do 40 million, 60 million users, we believe that we'll open up somewhere between $10 to $25 a share on an opening price. But again, remember, you're selling that. So I hope that answered your question.
Yep. I'm not seeing any other questions come in. Oh, hold on, one more. Can you help me get my money from my record deal?
So is this an artist that asked that question?
I think so. Yeah.
Can I help them get their money from
their record?
Ask me the question again, please.
Can you help me get my money from my record deal?
That's very interesting. I was watching some stuff on Prince yesterday, and another artist talked about this same very thing. Well, it we have to really talk about the type of record deal you got. It might have been a 360 deal. We don't believe in these type of deals because what happens is that, and that's a odds of us helping you with that is slim. I don't know the whole story, so I can't say yes, I can't say no. Attorneys would get involved in that, but the way the music industry works today, which is really not good for artists, they give you a 360 deal, and now they go out and they give you a stipend to do the record, right? They spend 5 million, 2 million, 1 million, whatever it is, to produce the album, 10 copies, 10 singles, or to produce 5 singles. And then they spend the money for PR. They spend the money to put you out in the marketplace, to put you on these shows. They spend the money to put the music out there. And it depends on how much the music makes, because basically they take roughly 60, 70, 80% of that money, 90% of that money. And then, normally it's 9% royalty on singles for artists. So it really puts you in a slim position. So the odds of us helping you do that are probably slim, but I will tell you this. If you got a record deal and you're not making any money, and I don't know how long you've been in the deal, but it's time for you to get out of that deal. But when it comes to a company like ours, if you are, I don't know what type of artist you are, if you're pop, R&B, hip hop, rock, country, I'm not certain. But if you are a good artist and you have the vocals that companies like ours look for, we could possibly be interested in sitting down, having a conversation with you about bringing you on board and showing you how to do this the right way, where you make money immediately and not get taken and put in the position you're in today. I don't know if that helped you, but that's my best answer.
He just responded saying he's a rap artist.
Oh, good. Okay, we're interested in rap artists actually. We have relationships with, well, one of our producers have relationships with one of the, with not one of them, pretty much all of them in the market today. I mean, we have a lot of leeway in that market. We produced a lot of stuff ourselves. We have a great deal of interest in that market because it's a big money making market.
And Ray, why did you decide to go the equity crowdfunding route?
I'm old school. I'm what you call a dinosaur in this business. In other words, I have raised $5 million since I got my trademark to COVID coming in. I've raised $5 million myself. But since that time, you can't just pick up the phone and call investors. It's just not something you can do anymore. So crowdfunding has taken over. And in order for you to be in a position where you have a chance of getting a chance of raising capital, you must go through the correct channels to do so. And right now, it's crowdfunding. And that's the reason why we got involved in it, because it is one of the only avenues to raise the type of money we're talking about. We're not talking about raising $10 million. We're talking about raising a very small amount. And crowdfunding should be able to help us do that.
Awesome. And then, Ray, what is that one last piece of information you want to give the audience here and anyone who's rewatching the webinar down the line?
From an investor standpoint, you guys are always looking to make investments in projects. And the one thing for certain that you can't get by, you can't get past music. Music is a moneymaker on the internet. There is no question about it. Like I said, there's 210 actual digital platforms out there today who are going after the same commodity, which is singers, songwriters, and their followers. And they are all making a lot of money. And when you put those all up on the board and look at those, they're similar in pretty much various ways because of the type of services that they're offering singers and songwriters. It's a big business. It's a big business. And anybody that has discretionary capital that's looking to invest should be looking at the digital music market space. Now, the reason why you should pay attention to us is because we are very different than anything on the planet today when it comes to helping singers get that golden fleece, which is a recording contract and a music placement contract. Nobody's doing what we're doing in a digital space. No one. And so here you have an opportunity to get involved on the ground floor level with a company that has already built the technology. All they're doing now is upgrading the technology so that we could launch it and do the things that we know this technology can do. It's a good opportunity.
And I'm gonna add the Netcapital link here in the chat. So if anyone in the audience wanted to learn more about New Platform Tech, check out that link. Ray, thank you so much for your time today. Everyone who attended the webinar, thank you. And if you weren't able to attend the webinar, don't worry. We've recorded the whole thing. We're going to be posting the recap on the Netcapital page, so be on the lookout for that. Any final words, Ray?
I appreciate your time. I appreciate the folks that were here watching the webinar, and I hope that I made sense, that I answered some questions and gave them some insight to who we are, and what we're capable of doing for the next years to come with this technology that we built.
Yep. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone. Hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Goodbye.